Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, February 25th, and this is episode 8 of Serenova Crafts. I'm your host, Jessica. I also go by Serenova on Ravelry and Instagram. I'm Serenova underscore, on Ravelry and Twitter, I'm Serenova. On Instagram, I'm Serenova underscore Phoenix. You can find the show notes on my blog at myknittinglife.wordpress.com. And I think that's it for now, so let's get started. I am trying something different with the lighting today. The lamp that's normally back there, I've moved over into the corner of the room, but the camera keeps doing something really funky with the lighting, so if you give me just a moment, I want to turn the light off. Be right back. Yeah, light wasn't working. So we're going to go with just natural light from the window, and this half of my face will just be washed out. Honestly, my camera was just doing some weird focusing thing, and I could see it on the screen that it was like flashing like the white balance was off, and it was just not good. So, yeah, I guess I'll get right into it. So, I have quilting to show you. I actually put off making a blog post, an actual like written blog post about it, because I wanted to show you guys. I finished my first quilt blocks for the quilt block of the month club I'm doing through my local shop. So what they had us do for the first month for January was a big, like, actual block, and then a bunch of filler blocks. So I have the big block. See here? Woo! Yeah, I know, it's not straight. It's not, like, nothing lines up. Like, you can see here, it doesn't line up, like, at all. Yeah, that's all a mess here. And just, yeah, it's not the greatest in the world, and I still have, like, threads hanging off of it. Come on, you gonna focus? Focus. There we go. Focused. But hey, for first quilting ever, and then I have the filler blocks. So then these are a little bit better than the main block because I got better as I went. The problem is that when I was doing these, I had neither iron nor ironing board, which is apparently like really super essential to, where is that? Oh, which is really super essential to getting good quilting. So these were all done without ironing anything, which is probably why they're such a mess. But that has been remedied. Last night, Kevin and I went to Walmart and we got an iron and an ironing board. And I know Walmart, not the best place in the world, but hey, you know what? So here's, and again, there's still threads hanging off of these. Here's the first filler block. And 4 of these have borders and 4 of them don't. First filler block. Second filler block with thread still attached. Third filler block. Fourth filler block. And then the 2 filler blocks that weren't given borders, according to the instructions that I received, so I didn't put borders on them. 1, 2. And all the filler blocks are pinwheels. I have not yet started the new stuff that I picked up on Saturday when I went, because this past Saturday, the 21st, was the 3rd Saturday of the month, so I got to go pick up my quilt block. I actually brought them to the Friday night project night group so that I could show people. So I'm like, yay! But the one woman who I wanted to be there, because she's a quilter, I mean, she has a long arm machine that she, like, will quilt your quilt for you on. Like, she's got a small business out of this. She wasn't there, and I wanted to show it to her. I'm just like, and she wasn't there. But anyways, so I picked up the next piece. Woo! And I have the instructions, which this looks a bit more complicated, because I apparently have to make that. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. And then I got more filler blocks that I got to do. So yeah, and then I got all the fabric, which I haven't really gone through any of this yet. I got strips of fabric, lots of strips. And then I got lots of squares. I don't know what I'm doing with any of this, so we'll figure it out. Lots of squares. Like it's a whole stack of stuff. And then like a couple random triangles for some reason. So I'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes. yeah, so this will be fun. It's a complete experiment because I have no idea what I'm doing. But, you know, we shall see. And speaking of sewing, last week, still in the bag because I'm horrible. I had to take a friend to Joann's because they do cosplay, which is when you make your own costumes to dress up as characters and stuff. And they're going to Anime Boston, which is Easter weekend, so I'm not going because it's Passover. I don't want to have to bring all my own food for 4 days. Is this focused? Focused? Yes, it's focused. Sorry, it's really hard to tell. My camera's being a little funky today. But I succumbed and I bought some fabric while I was there. So I got some nice flannel that's normally used for kids' PJs. But I was thinking about it going, it's been really cold. And I've been sitting at home working. So I think I'm going to make myself a couple of skirts to wear around the house that are nice and warm, but because they're skirts, they won't be too warm, but they're flannel. And so I got two things of fox fabric. So here's one. This is like kids' PJ fabric, but you know what? I don't care. It's cute. I like foxes. And then the second one, this is going to be a little harder to make into a skirt because the fabric is only so wide and the foxes go in a stripe like horizontally across the fabric. So I think I'm going to have to bias cut it so that the foxes go sideways on the skirt, like at a diagonal on the skirt, because otherwise I don't think it's going to work. But anyways, here is the second one. I thought it was really super cute. And they were both on sale for $2.50 a yard. So I kind of went with it. Let's see. Oh, I finally warped my loom again. Because I've made a few things, but I warped the looms. Now, I'm going to pick up the loom, and I'm going to attempt to show it to you. But because it's like a 16-inch wide loom, and it's wood, it's a little awkward. But hold on. Okay. So, that's the side of the loom. I got my shuttles here off the side. Now, okay, I need to turn it like this to show you folks. So, here it is. Okay, you can't see there it is. Oh, that looks much better on camera than it does in real life. I am doing a houndstooth pattern. Caught. Sorry, this is going to be like the unedited weird version today. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the houndstooth-like fabric pattern. Most of you are probably familiar with houndstooth. So when you weave it, what you do is you warp the loom, because I have a rigid heddle loom. So when you warp it, you warp every other dent in the reed. Let me get my other heddle. Now I can show you what I'm talking about. So you have the heddle, and this is like what you bash against the yarn to like make it nice and tight when you're weaving. So when you warp for a houndstooth, because you have to have two colors, what you do is you go every other dent in the reed. So you go every other vertical space. And then when you do the second color, you go in and fill the ones you skipped the first time. And then, you just set it up like normal. And then when you're weaving, what you do is you have the two colors at the same time. And like in knitting, when you carry your yarn up the side of the work, you do that with the weaving as well. So you have two colors, you go back, forth, twist, back, forth, twist, back, forth, twist, back, just all the way up the side of the scarf. So on one side, you have like a twisty chain of yarn, but it actually looks quite nice. So you know what? I'm not complaining. And that's how you get a houndstooth. But I needed this to show you because it's just really hard to explain without like a visual aid. Unless you know what I'm talking about, I'm not sure everyone who watches this weaves, so it's better to have a visual aid. So let's see. Yes, I warped the loom. I haven't gotten too much done on the scarf yet because I've been working and I've been knitting and I've had to finish the quilt and stuff, but I did have a ton of fun doing that. So I don't have any spinning progress for you. I've been focusing on other stuff, but I did buy more fibers. You can see it behind me. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I did make significant progress on my February socks because last week when I showed you, I hadn't finished the first sock. So here is sock 1. I got the heel, which you can't really see due to the lighting. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is like my favorite heel ever. I mean, I don't mind heel flap heels, but I actually have very narrow heels. So on a heel flap, there's always a little bit of extra fabric there because I have my heels are actually narrower than the rest of my foot. So the Fish Lips Kiss heel fits a lot better than your traditional heel flap heel. So I much prefer the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And so I finished the first sock, and I finished that on Friday, and I cast on the second sock, and I have done the heel. See, there's the heel. And I am working my way up the leg of the second sock, so I am on track to be finished for Saturday. Because on Sunday, because Sunday is March 1st, I get to pull the yarn to make my March socks. So next week, I will have a little bit about me opening my bag on Sunday, because I'm not going to wait until Wednesday to start my socks. Like, oh my God, no. That sounded like such a teenage statement. But so, yeah. So that's going really good, and the yarn isn't pulling on that at all, even when I did the heel, so it's really good. I'm quite happy with it. I did get the urge to crochet this past week because it's been so flippin' cold. Maybe I should make that the episode title, Flippin' Cold. I think that's my episode title, Flippin' Cold. Though Sunday it was actually really quite warm and balmy, and I actually liked it. But it was snowing like crap on Saturday. Like, oh my God, make up your mind, Mother Nature, come on. Anyways, I got the urge to crochet, and I actually took the hook out so that it wasn't, like, clanging all around. But I have 2 skeins of Cairn 1 pound in Cape Cod Blue, which is the color name. So I decided I was going to make a gigantic granny square blanket with it to have on the couch. So here's the start. There we go. That's as far as I've gotten since Monday. I actually put it in Ravelry when I started it. So if you give me like 3 seconds, I can figure this out. But yeah, I haven't started it very long, but crochet works up like super, super quickly. So it's not like I started this on Saturday. So between Saturday and Wednesday, this is what I've done. Keep in mind, this is a Ron weight yarn. It is acrylic, but you know what? It's a couch blanket. I'm not like wearing it outside for warmth, so acrylic's like whatever. Plus with the cat, which I've already crocheted cat hair into this thing, I'd rather just be able to shove it in the washing machine. Considering, like, you know, if people come over, they're going to be using it. They, you know, not everybody's careful with food. And I'm not saying my friends are messy. They're not, but accidents happen. And I would rather have acrylic on the couch. I mean, if it's a personal item for me, I will totally use something that's like hand wash, care, whatever. But like if it's going to be like other people using it who don't know, I'm going to go with acrylic. So here it is. And that's that. That's as far as I've gotten. But I have 2 of the gigantic 1 pound thingies. It's upside down. I have 2 of these. And I'm just going to go until I'm out of yarn. Or, well, until I can complete a complete round, but not another complete. You know what I mean. I'm basically going to go until I'm out of yarn. You don't need to do a bind off with crochet, but you do need to make it to the end of the row. So I'll go until I can't do another row. Let's see. My notes here. I had my Ginny cardigan break on me. And I say break because a strand of the yarn on it did, in fact, break. Now, this, since I made this sweater a year ago, this has been my main wear sweater. This is what I put on under my coat. This is what I put on when I'm sitting around the house. I adore this sweater. Be right back. It is easier to leave my webcam recording, run away, come back, and then cut the footage out after the fact, than to stop recording, walk away, come back, start recording again. Anyways, I adore this sweater. It is my favorite sweater ever, to such an extent that I am going to knit a second one. Yes, I'm going to knit a second of the exact same sweater because I like it so much. It's got fitted arms, but I love this sweater. I adore this sweater. And yet it's really weird because I love like cabled cardigans and intricate lace work, and this is just like a stocking knit sweater with a lace panel on the back. Like, what? But anyways, so As I reach over and grab the sweater from where I had it stashed, the cuffs have taken a lot of abuse on the sweater. And here it is, actually. Here it is. Here's the front. Here's the back with the lace panel, as you can see. I got the cutest buttons ever for it. See, owl, leaf, owl, leaf, owl, leaf. I alternated owl, leaf all the way down. Anyways, which cuff is it? It's which cuff? I need the other cuff. Need the other cuff. The cuffs have taken a lot of abuse because, like, I'll pull the sweater up over my elbow. I'm trying to find where, there it is. I'm trying to find, like, I'll pull it up over my elbows, I'll scrunch it up, I'll pull it down. The cuffs actually come down to about here on my hands, so, like, if I'm on the computer, like, my wrist is back. So I'm not surprised the cast on, because the sleeves are knit from the cuff up. So I'm not surprised the cast on eventually gave. Especially because I used a stretchy cast on. So here is the damage. You can see that a stitch broke and it has dropped down here. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's a little hard to see because my camera's not cooperating. But right here, drop down. So I'm not wearing the sweater anymore until I've caught that stitch, worked it back up, and then secured it. I think I'm just going to use thread to secure it. I do have more of the yarn I made this out of. I have a full ball and a half left of this yarn. But, excuse me, I think I might just use like cotton thread because I think that would make it a bit sturdier in the long run rather than using the yarn that's already broken. But I said I was going to make a second one. So I have been swatching to make a second one. And I always swatch sweaters. I almost never swatch like blankets, shawls. I don't bother. Because if it comes out a slightly different size than the pattern says, who's going to know, right? But with sweaters, I always swatch because sweaters need to fit. I always swatch fitted garments. I don't always swatch non-fitted garments. So I have, this yarn is Dirty Water Dye Works, and it is in the slate colorway, and it is I stuck the labels for the yarn in the center of the balls, so I can't, like, pull them out. This is Dirty Water Dye Works Edna, which is, what is it? 85% wool and 15% silk. Here it is. I've already caked it up. It's a nice tonal gray. You can see I stuck the label in the center there. It's a nice tonal gray, and I don't have a lot of neutrals in my wardrobe, so I think something like this would be really nice. And so I have this, and I have 3 balls of it because I need 1,100 yards of the yarn to make that sweater in my size. And this is 1,200 yards. The 3 balls together is just shy of 1,200 yards. So I'm good in the yardage department, especially because I knit tightly and I'll probably use less than the pattern calls for. By the way, for those of you wondering, it's called the Ginny Cardigan, and it is from, I'm pulling it up, it is from the Unofficial Harry Potter Knits Special Issue 2013, and it's released by Interweave Press. Now, the sweater that I love is the one that's on the cover. So it's the one in blue on the cover the girl that looks like Ginny Weasley is wearing. Because, of course, if it's a Ginny cardigan, you need a redheaded chick to model the sweater because Ginny Weasley is a redheaded chick. Like, it's a thing. Weasleys, they have red hair. It's a thing. By the way, I'm planning to reread Harry Potter. So, like, because I actually have not read the books straight through in years. And I've been on a bit of a Harry Potter kick. Especially because Kevin, as like a combined birthday Hanukkah present, because my birthday and Hanukkah are always like really close together, bought me the 38 disc set of all 8 Harry Potter movies with all the bonus features ever made. It is like seriously 30 some odd discs. It's four times 6 is 20 plus 3. It's pushing 30 discs. However many there are in this set, it's pushing 30. It's a lot. So yeah, I've been on a Harry Potter kick, so I want to reread the books. I actually have the stack of them over here. I'm not going to bother turning the camera because you won't be able to see them all, but I have the stack of my 7 Harry Potter books, plus the Tales of Beedle the Bard over on the side here. I don't know what ever happened. I have copies somewhere of Quidditch Through the Ages of Magical Beasts and Where to Find Them. And by the way, she's releasing that new movie trilogy about Newt Scamander, the author of Harry Potter's textbook for, Magical Beasts and Where to Find Them. And guess what? He was a Hufflepuff. Newt Scamander, not Harry Potter. Hufflepuff. And I'm like, yay, Hufflepuffs are getting some love because I'm a Hufflepuff. But anyways, back to knitting. So I'm going to make a second Ginny cardigan. I also want to make, because they've been really popular at my local shop again, an Inspire cowl. And the Inspire cowl normally uses 2 different variegated yarns. But I've seen some versions where they've used 1 solid and 1 variegated. And I want to do that because I love the stained glass window look you get with the solid and the variegated. So I have this fingering weight, which is gorgeous. And it was a Christmas present from Kevin's sister. So my boyfriend's sister gave me this for Christmas. It is Ellen Cooper's Yarn Sonnets. It's a hand-dyed yarn. She is in Sprague, Connecticut. And this is the Jasmine base, her Jasmine base, which is 100% organic merino wool in the Coom colorway. K-U-M, Coom. I think I'm saying that right. So I'm thinking this week when I go to my shop for project night, I might see if they have a black fingering that would pair with this. Because I think a black would make the colors in this, which this is like very jewel tony. It's also very squishy. This is very jewel tony, and I think that a black would stand out gorgeous with this. So that's my plans. Those are the 2 projects I want to do. Nothing else really coming up, but I did go again to the Wayland Farmers Market, and now we come to, I guess I'll have a stash enhancement section because I went to the Wayland Farmers Market again this weekend, like I did at the beginning of the month, and I bought more stuff. So, I got, let's start with the fiber since you've been seeing it sitting behind me for a while here. I got more fiber. This is gorgeous reds and oranges. This reminded me of like a flame, and I just adored it. So this is from the same dyer who I got the other big, huge braid from. This one is only 6 ounces, but that's still a good chunk, and it's hand-dyed border Leicester. And it is from, Richard and Carol Tripp in Lakeville, Mass, or Martha's Vineyard, Tisbury, Mass. Because I'm guessing it's a vineyard, not the actual island of Martha's Vineyard, because those are 2 very different things. But anyways, the camera keeps adjusting and changing the focus, and it's not a good camera day. But here's this. This is a 6-ounce braid. I gotta start spinning more soon. I really want a wheel. If anybody knows where to get a used spinning wheel, preferably a castle-style wheel, because those are smaller, not like the traditional-style wheel, because I don't really have space for a traditional-style wheel. But if anybody knows where to get, like, a castle-style, preferably a double-treadle wheel for, like, a couple $100, I'd really appreciate it, because I'm dying to get a wheel. I mean, I use my drop spindles. I love my drop spindles, but I really want to try a wheel. Anyways, moving on. Remember when I went to the last one, I bought a bunch of that undyed alpaca? Well, I got more. And this time it actually has a label. So here it is. Artisan Yarns. And there's their website. artisanyarns.biz, if my camera would focus. If I get my face out of the way, it might focus. There we go. And there's no colorway or anything, and it's DK. It's 200 yards, US 5. And I bought 2 of these last time. And I bought 2 this past Saturday. And then on Monday I was sitting there thinking, this would make a gorgeous sweater. But unfortunately, 800 yards of DK is not enough to get a sweater in my size. If I'm going with DK, I need at least 1,000 yards. for a sweater in my size. Because I need at least a 36-inch bust, which normally works out to a small or a medium, depending on how the pattern is written. And that normally is at least 1,000 yards. So I found a cabled sweater pattern. It's called the Glen Trekker Cardigan. And it is by Jennifer Hagen. It's available on Ravelry for $8. And it's got a nice wide collar. It's a cardigan, so it's buttoned up. It's got cables up the back, cables up the front. There's cables on the sleeve. I mean, this is an all-over cabled cardigan, and I love those. And it's pictured in like a grayish brown on the Ravelry page, but I think it would look gorgeous in this cream. And this is a cream. It's not a pure white. It's a cream. You can see. So I messaged Hamden Hills Alpacas. I went to their website, and I sent them a message through their contact form. They actually got back to me like 2 hours later, asking, because with my size, I needed about 1,250 yards. So I messaged, and I had 4 skeins, which meant I needed 3 more. So I messaged them, and I said, do you have 3 left? And they said, yes, we do. And I said, great, I'll take. They had more than 3 left, so if you want to go message them, you can totally see if they had it still. But they had 3 on Monday, and so they put up a special listing in the shop, and I went and I grabbed it, and it's coming in the mail, and so I have that coming up. But I'm going to knit the Ginny cardigan first, and then I will do this sweater because this is going to be gorgeous and super warm. And this is like super soft alpaca too. An alpaca sweater. Oh my God. And people are like, are you going to dye it? I'm like, no, it's a gorgeous cream. Why would I dye it? I like the cream. The last thing I got was lace. And this lace is great. And I'm totally biased. Totally biased. This is 100 Ravens yarn. And the whole reason I went to the farmer's market was because Kate from 100 Ravens was going to be there. Well, Kate is 100 Ravens. She's not from 100 Ravens. She's the owner, dyer, and seller for 100 Ravens. But, and she's great. I love her. And yay, her foot's almost healed because she broke her ankle in like December. Oh my God. But I got some of her Alfar lace. Here it is. In the Bacante colorway. So here's the label. She is in Brookline, New Hampshire now, and it is the Alfar in Bacante, and it is 875 yards of 100% merino wool superwash lace. Now, you can do a lot with 875 yards of lace. So this is going to become, I'm going to go with either a stole or a triangular shawl. I have not quite made up my mind yet, but I want it to be like a super lacy thing. And, you know, there's some color. You know, you have like this really light part here and the darker part, but it's a tonal dye. I mean, it's a strong tonal, but it's still a tonal. So I can do something with a fair amount of detail and get it to look nice. So that is that. That's what I got on Saturday. Plus the 3 extra skeins of this on Monday when I messaged them, and I'm like, can I get 3 more? But yeah, I think that's it. I've actually hit a half hour. So I'm going to call it now. I don't have much else to talk about. And besides, I need to get back to work. I actually took my lunch break at 8:15 in the morning to record this. And then, I'll take like another like half-hour break later in the day to edit and then upload this so that you guys can have it around mid-afternoon. So there will be a thread in the Ravelry group, which is the Serenova Crafts podcast. This is on my blog, information here. I've decided to do it down here now, and I'll sit up straighter. I've decided to put my information down here instead of on the side here, because on the side here, the lines tend to get cut, but if I put it down here, it's just line, right? So information here. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my blog or next week for the video. Thanks, and have a good week.